It's football season in Montana, and that means it's hunting season too. Keep your taste buds watering whether you're bow hunting or tailgating by staying stocked up on Alpine Touch. The traditional seasoning is perfect for any and all meat. The barbecue sauce, perfect for your tailgate. And the sunflower seeds, amazing, are ideal for hunting camp or your seat at the football stadium. Available at retail locations around the state or at alpinetouch.com. Alpine Touch, Montana's special spice.
Well, obviously a huge win for our program. For this team, it was going to take an effort that we need to really play well. And whether we entirely played well or not, we played well enough. And the guys, believed in each other. I certainly think we're the more physical team, and that was one aspect that we needed to have come true. And, we were -2 in the takeaway margin. And, I know this. We possessed the ball on offense, kept them off the field, and defensively, we stood up against as explosive offense as you probably see at this level. So, with that, I'll open up for questions.
You guys gave up 2 touchdowns in the first 10 minutes of the game, and I don't even think they had a first down for the next 2 quarters. So, any adjustments, or was it just a matter of settling in?
I think a matter of settling in. I think we knew they were going to make some plays. There was no panic. Stick to the plan. Maybe tackle a little bit better, sequencing calls and stuff like that. I'm sure there was, some adjustments for sure. But, I think our guys just knew that they're going to make some plays, and however that goes, we got to keep after them. We didn't need to reinvent ourselves to beat this team, and we just need to play well. And defensively, we really did that today.
What do you think of your ground game? Not only Isaiah, but your offensive line, especially kind of some adjustments there at that guard position.
Yeah. I think we felt like, again, that physical aspect would be an area we'd have to win. A unit is an O-line. It's a group that has to play together, and I'm guessing from a run perspective, we did a pretty good job of that. And Isaiah is, he's a hard guy to bring down. And to him to be on that other side of 30 again with his carries, I think that was what it took today. He needed to be able to make some plays and break some tackles, and he did just that.
I think for the past couple of weeks we've been talking about Matt struggling a little bit, but I think he came out today and made a statement that maybe that bye week really helped him. Could you just talk about his performance today and maybe what was different this week?
Well, I think he had a chance to hit the reset a little bit. I think both from a health perspective and, I think going back to square one on some fundamental aspects. For him to be able to pop that run early and finish that run, he hasn't really had a run of that nature all season, so that was a huge play for him to get him going. And, I think the connections that him and Lance made, in particular the long variety, I think we've been seeing it all year, but to have that show up in a big game like that. And there were some, simple things that he did today too. And I know that we'll look back. I think the 2 turnovers, obviously, we can't have that. Trying to do too much on the interception, and then I'll have to look at it. I just don't think he handled that snap on the fumble. But Matt did enough for us to win the game today, and we're going to continue to need that out of him.
The first win over the Eagles in a decade. What was the atmosphere in the locker room just now like, and what did you say to your team after this win?
Well, you look at all the stats here. They've won a lot of football games, in particular the last 11 years or whatever since they went to the red turf. It's a really good program. It's way more than the red turf. And I know we've been on the other side of this matchup. But these guys, by and large, the guys on our team haven't played out here. There was a few that played out here back in, I think, 17. But I think our guys recognize and respect all these opponents that they're playing, and understand to do the things we want to, you got to go on the road and do what we did in Ogden. You got to go on the road and do what we did today. And at the same time, understand that while we've set ourselves up well, we got a lot in front of us yet. And that's kind of the combined message. Enjoy it for sure, because this is hard to do. But we got a game next week against Idaho that will be our last home game of the regular season that we need to win.
You mentioned the defense, but holding them to 20 points since there's 14 less than they scored all season. Anything specific that you just think was especially good? Was it pressure? Was it coverage?
Well, I said it back on Monday, I believe. It was going to take a team effort. You know, the time of possession, the way it was tilted, even though we didn't capitalize in the red zone offensively, they're over there on the sideline quite a bit. And anytime that happens offensively, especially when you're explosive, there's a nature to probably press a little bit. And, you know, the 3 and outs, the plays we were able to make on first down, you know, a lot can be made of the third down plays, but getting them behind the sticks, I think, over and over again, I know we'll look back, is key. You know, keeping a quarterback at bay that's as talented as him. And you know, he still made a bunch of plays, but, you know, I think we won that battle. So, you know, I'll take great defense over great offense any day, and I think that's the way it worked out today.
Yeah, you mentioned it kind of not capitalizing, but they didn't capitalize on your mistakes, plays, the drop, the missed field goal. You get safety after the 4th down. Yeah,
you know, that's football games, right? I think you want it to go perfectly, and I think we have a team that understands if something doesn't go our way, all right, let's move on. You know, a lot of teams let those plays compound themselves, you know, and then they don't make the next one. I think that's what this team, for the most part, over and over again this season has been able to do. Good, bad, whatever the play is, move on to the next one. And you know, trust each other. You know, the defense out there, trusting each other, trusting guys to do their job is what we're all about. And you know, proud of the way those guys trust our coaches, and the coaches came up with a great plan, and we couldn't be more proud of them.
I know you want your team to focus on itself, but does this feel a little bit, you know, winning at the number 5 team in the country? Does this feel a little like a statement win, maybe that you're among the national title contenders?
Oh, you know what? I think what we talked about is we're in November now, and everybody wants to point to the playoffs and say championships are won in December. They're won in November. They're won as you continue to play better and get better, and you come out on the right side of games where you're really tested. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. However November played out, where we played, who we played, we couldn't control that. But we're here now, and we need to find a way this week, next week, moving forward to keep getting better. You know, and then that's what ultimately will propel us into whatever we can do down the road.
What did you think of Freddie getting the young DBs ready? It seemed like they stepped up.
Yeah, you know, I'm certain getting James back out there and Tyrell going. But you look at, you know, Simeon Woodard. I mean, he's given up a whole bunch of height, and he was positioned well on a couple plays. I think Eric Zambrano was in there. I think our safety group between Trey and Ty and Jeff has been rock solid all year. So, you know, that group, while, you know, was inexperienced coming, we felt like was really talented. And, you know, I think as this season has gone on, we've gotten better and better, and that's a credit to Coach Banks, Coach Reisinger, and just those guys.
Having a guy like Troy that can run like he can at inside linebacker, how much advantage does that give you against a team like that?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I guess he gives you advantage no matter what, right?
You're putting a better X out there than most.
Right.
Guess, when you're talking X's and O's. So, yeah, it does allow you to do some things different, both in a coverage and from a blitz perspective, and, you know, just appreciate his continued effort for him to get better. You know, he's playing this position for the first time in his career, and there's been a steady improvement about his game. And, you know, that could be said for many of our guys. So, you know, it's check one off in November, you know, and I think we showed that we made some progress today, and we need to continue to do that.
Tui and Cole, can you say what happened with them?
Cole didn't make the trip. Cole was injured. You know, Tui sat today, violation of team rules, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities to their networks in Montana and beyond. Through Blackfoot sponsorships, local ambassadors, and public programs, we support initiatives such as the Emergency Broadband Benefit, fiber deployments, and community events. For information on our commitment to improving our communities with fast, reliable, and secure internet access, go to blackfootcommunications.com/news.
Lewis, how does this one feel? First time in a decade you beat the Eagles.
Yeah, amazing. You know, love this team, love this program. As a senior, it's just great to go out like this, and you know, we address that. Obviously, this is a team that's always been good. It's always one of the top teams in the nation, in the conference, just like it was with Weber. And, you know, we said we wanted to send this group of seniors, start this freshman off right, and get a win against these big teams. And just so happy, ecstatic about winning this one.
What was it today about your team that allowed you to get this close win?
You know, we stuck together. You know, obviously not everything went our way. We had some tough penalties. We had a couple mistakes. We were kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit there in certain situations. But no matter what, we came back on the sideline and just washed it all away and went out there the next snap and the next series and just got it done. You know, we wanted to try to be the most physical team, and obviously we got to watch the film, but you know, I feel like we did a pretty good job of being physical and finishing, and I thought all the way around, special teams, defense, offense, I thought it was clear that we were trying our best to be physical.
Isaiah definitely put up some numbers on the ground, but we know it all starts with you guys. So what was working for you guys on the line, and I mean, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, we have a special guy in 22. We have a lot of weapons on offense, and Isaiah's one of them, and you know, he's an awesome back, and he makes us right a lot of times too. So even in some situations where we're not getting the right things blocked, or maybe we're seeing the wrong thing or something different, he can come in and kind of correct us and, you know, make a guy miss or whatever it is. But you know, all of our backs, when they run hard, and whenever, like I've said this in the past, like when you see a running back running hard, breaking tackles, trying to inch for extra yards, like that's what makes you want to block. You know, we've seen other teams, you know, that guys run out of bounds, or you know, they kind of just go down right away, and I can't imagine as an offensive line that's what you want to see. You know what I mean? You want to see a guy who's battling and trying to get you extra yards, and that makes us more motivated and just want to block forever for those guys, because at the end of the day, that's our job. Put a body on a body and just try to roll them off the ball and get those backs up to the second and third level.
I think it's fair to say that McKay struggled a couple weeks, but he obviously came out today. It really bounced back. Can you just talk about him as a leader and how big it was for him to come out and make a statement today?
Yeah, Matt's awesome. One of my best friends on the team. It was just, you know, everybody has bad games. I've had some bad games this season. I think everybody can say they've had some not so good games this season. It is what it is. That's football. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to come out and have a great game every single game. But there's things that he does well every game that we can learn from, and some things that obviously he has to learn from, just like all of us. That's why we watch film. That's why we kind of take it game by game. And, you know, I just, all week is just building his confidence. And, I mean, he knows the right moves. He knows the right plays to call. He knows the right reads, everything. And, you know, when he's confident and he's doing his thing, he's probably one of the best to do it.
What was going through your head on that big house call on your guys' opening drive? I mean, eventually he's in front of you, and
Yeah.
you're just probably like, oh,
Yep,
he's taking this to the house.
You know, I was almost like kind of floating. I was just like, oh my gosh, like 3 plays in or whatever it was. I was like, that's crazy, but we knew it was going to happen. You know, we knew we were going to come out and give them our best, and I think it showed, and it was a great all-around team win.
Did you have any perspective on Lance's long touchdown? Looked like 50-50 ball, but then he just ripped it from him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, every time the ball's in the air, like, you know, I'm half the time engaged with a guy or whatever it is, or maybe, you know, my back's turned to the receiver or whatever it is. And I always look and I'm like, I don't understand how our receivers can go make these, like, to track the ball through hands, through, you know, a human body, and just make a catch. And then obviously Lance was just a monster, like DK Metcalf out there, throwing dudes around and spinning and, you know, showing his strength. And I mean, that's just a testament to how hard he's worked his butt off and how far he's come. He's having a great senior year and one of the best leaders on this team. And he comes out and he brings it every game, and that's what we love to see. Also motivates us to block.
I know you try to focus on what you guys are doing, but do you feel like a win like this, you know, tells the rest of the country that you guys are national title contenders?
Yeah, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're taking this season one game at a time. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We have goals set. We have goals that are out in front of us, and we just want to come out every week and try to be the best team we can be, get better week to week. You know, obviously, I think every team sets goals and wants to compete nationally, and that's something we want to do and something we've been able to do these past couple of years here. But as far as, you know, talking about championships and stuff like that, we don't need the recognition. You know, as long as I've been here, we've never really gotten the recognition, and we've had some good teams in the past, and it kind of is what it is. As long as we know and we can come out and have that confidence, that swagger, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who else believes it because we do.
I know that was something that Coach Vigen talked about from the very beginning, was getting a Big Sky, getting a national title.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you guys believed that from the very beginning?
100%. I think, you know, you look at the trajectory of this team, especially since I've got here, obviously that's all I can really attest to, but the way we started 2016, obviously that didn't play, but seeing that team and then watching it grow into what it is now, it's just been a matter of time. You know, we were close last year in 2019, 2 years ago, sorry. We were close. You know, you take a couple of those games, the North Dakota, the Sac State, and you know, we're 1 or 2 games away from a Big Sky championship, but we didn't get it done. And you can just kind of feel it building every year as far as the way I felt. You know, every year we get better. Every year we find something new that we can improve on, and it just shows on the field every year.
Is there a comment or that a coach or a player said that stood out to you from this game?
There's a lot of them. Basically just playing our game, you know, going out there, and probably the biggest one was, this is why you play football, right? A lot of coaches were saying that, and I mean, it's true. You know, you don't go out to play, you know, a bunch of different teams. You go out for those big conference games against the best of the best in the conference, best of the best in the nation. And that's what you want to do. You want to go play the best and beat the best. So that's what we're trying to do and accomplish.
Non-Cat Grizz, where does this win rank in your career? Or Cat Grizz concluded?
Well, Cat Grizzlies are always something different, so I won't put those in there. But as far as this goes, I'd say this has got to be a tie with Weber. Just 2 great big wins and keeping us going. So
First time beating the Eagles in a decade. What was the locker room like after this one?
I mean, we were pumped up. What a game for us. That was a lot of fun to come to their place where everyone knows it's tough to play here, and to come out with a win is big time. So everyone was super pumped in the locker room. It was a great feeling.
What was the message going into this one?
That it's going to be a dogfight. We're going to turn it into a physical game. They want to, you know, play basketball on a football field, and we're going to turn it into a physical game. And I think that was a great approach because that's an advantage to us for sure. So yeah, that was kind of the game plan.
What was it like going up against Eric?
He's a great player. You know, kudos to him. He's phenomenal, and yeah, that's about it. Kudos to him.
Holding him to 20, I mean, how crazy is that to digest that you held them to 14 less than anybody else has?
I mean, I'm not surprised. That's, you know, our defense prepared for that. We knew that we could do that. We have the capability to do that. We have a great defense, so that's the expectation.
That first quarter, they make so much money on that inside slant. Did you guys adjust anything to take that away, or I guess more importantly, how good is it to have the 2 inside linebackers you guys have to sort of take that away with yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just seeing that, maybe getting into some different calls for sure.
And a win like this, I know you guys try to focus on what you guys do and not focus on what the rest of the country is doing, but do you feel like this is a bit of a statement win in terms of, you know, you guys are in position to make a run for the national title?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a statement win, but for sure, to your point, you know, just focus on our next game. So, yeah, move on from here, but that absolutely, it's for sure a statement win. There's no hiding that.
Is there a moment or a comment that stands out from this game?
No, not really. Just getting the win.
Love it.
All right.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Ifanse out there, what kind of pressure was he putting on you guys?
Yeah, he's a really good player. From a pressure standpoint, he's very crafty. He's very well balanced. One of the better running backs I've actually ever had to go against. So I respect his game. You know, I thought we were fitting stuff up really well, but at the end of the day, he was able to make guys miss and break tackles, and so we just need to be better in that department.
How much did you guys miss Jack out there on the field with you?
You know, he is one of our key players, just overall from a leadership standpoint as well. I mean, he kind of makes our defense go, so it is a bit of a bite in the butt when we don't get him. I commend Cale Lindsey, had a great day today, really stepped up into that role, and he's just time and time again just proven for our defense to be a ball player for us, so I'm really proud of him. Hopefully we can get Jack back here soon though, because he's makes our defense go, and we just have that kind of energy and spark when he's out there with us.
Ty, getting them off the field on third down, you have been in some third and fairly long situations on a number of occasions, but they always seem to come up with just the right number of yards. What was the issue in keeping them on?
Just executing. I thought we had Great game plan going into this game. I thought Coach Enna, I mean, he always does a phenomenal job, and I love him. I love playing for him, and I'll ride with him every single day. And so I think all of his calls were awesome, and so it just comes down to us, one-on-one, making that play, and we're going to get back to that and hone in on the little things, and I think just getting back to the basics of, bringing your feet to tackles. And so, I'm a prime example. I miss my tackles too, and we just all got to be better in making that one big shot.
Explosives were obviously very good too. Long yardage plays.
Yeah, it's tough, as it's easy to look at corners and be like, why, well, be ready for it.
Yeah.
But when you look at a team like this that is so run heavy, it's tough being out on that island every time, and then all of a sudden your opportunity is slim to none. So it's easy to get lulled to sleep out there, So I would never point fingers at our explosives on it or from our corners whatsoever. That's the hardest position in football. So I think our corners are phenomenal from top down, and I trust them every single day.
What kind of a difference has it made to have Anthony back out there playing some?
Oh, he's a ball player. I love the kid. Not even just the energy he brings from his playmaking ability. He's just one of the most contagious individuals. Love him. It's a blessing to have him back on the field. Thank God that he was able to get the surgery and recover well from it, and so it's been awesome having him back.
Where do you go from here? You go to California next to play UC Davis. But what are your thoughts on kind of finishing out the rest of this regular season here?
Yeah, we're chin up. We can take some punches, but we'll probably see them down the road. So I'm excited about it. This season's far from over. We got the best player in the country. Anything can happen. So, and I fully believe that.
Talolo, was that the best defense that you guys have faced so far this season?
Nah, personally, I don't think so. I feel like there's a lot of mistakes on the offensive end. Penalty by me late in the game, make us go down, 1st and 15 now. Then we had to pick up for the 5 yards that I just gave up. And then it turned around and probably, I think, the same drive, I drop a bubble for a 1st down. So I personally don't think so. I think that that we just did some things wrong. I take blame on some of it, so I don't really think so.
I know Andrew didn't. I think he only had a couple catches in this game. Did you notice that they were doing anything particular to stop him from being a big factor?
Nah, I really don't think that it was them. It's probably quarterback not looking for him as much times. He had no catches last game too. It's a little bit on him too, getting in his own head. He had to get out of his head sometimes, and I personally don't think that they did anything to stop him. Goes back to the touchdown that he had. They gave him a flag, but they don't. The flags don't go both ways. So I personally don't think that they did anything special to stop him. He's a great player. He's gonna prove it next week. See what I'm saying? So back to the drawing boards. We take it on the chin. It's nothing.
Eric obviously is so hard to bring down, and they were putting a lot of pressure on him. What did you make of how Eric played today? Not turning the ball over at all, too.
It's CB3. Everybody knows who he is. He knows what he's worth. So any game he could do this. Every game he does it. Like most of his picks come from tip passes off of our hands. So for him to not throw one today, it is pretty good. But I really don't think that he's gonna go out there and he's gonna do what he do week in, week out. It doesn't matter what defense you throw out there, he's gonna exploit the defense. So I think that he did a good job.
Where do you guys go from? You go to California. Season's not over, but what are your thoughts on where this team is at now, heading with a couple less games in the regular season?
2 back-to-back losses. We take them on the chin. I feel like we're gonna be perfectly fine. Go back to California, a little warmer weather. Show out there, and then 1 week at a time. So I don't think that this team did anything different. It's just we're not executing at a level that we should be executing at.
Coach, Ifanse gets, I think, 217 yards in this game, which seems to be pretty much par for his season in terms of yards per carry. What makes him such a difficult running back to stop?
He doesn't go down. His legs are always moving. Got a lot of forward lean, great profile, and we didn't tackle real well. Defensively, points wise, we were fantastic. With 23 points against any team, you would hope, and really count on an Eastern offense to score more than 23 points. So kudos to the defense points wise for doing what they did. A few too many yards at times, a few too many explosives that we gave up as far as explosive plays. But when kind of the time was necessary, we kind of buckled down and kind of got a turnover or got a stop, or they missed a field goal. So opportunity kind of struck us in a good way on a few of those explosive plays, post-explosive plays. But Ifanse is a good player, fine player, one of the best in the league, one of the best in the land. So we've got to find a way to limit one single ball carrier, let alone a team over 200 yards. We're led by a bunch of seniors. Jack Sonnenbach was out. No excuses made with that. We play with who we have, so do they. We just didn't do enough today.
Aaron, can you take us through the last possession? You had some momentum, obviously, although terrible field position. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The thought was if we got in probably a fourth, and if we moved out to probably past 15 or 20, it was going to be 4 down territory, down 3. Worst case scenario, we flip the field on ourselves and we hold for a field goal, and we're still within 6 points of that. So it was kind of the strategy at that point in that moment. But I just didn't see us at the 9-yard line flipping the field. That's too tight. Now it's 1st and goal, and all of a sudden it's 9 yards away. So we decided to punt. Hoped we'd be able to, burn the 3 timeouts, get them to punt, and really be in the same position we were with a minute plus left. With our offense, anything's bound to happen. But it did creep in my head either to take a safety late in the game, to kick the ball off down 5, to truly hold. And if it's a field goal, you're still within a 6-point and a 2-point conversion, or the possibility of flipping the field on ourselves if we get out to the 20-25 and be in 4 down territory. But we just didn't muster up enough. We got a decent 1st down run. Didn't get much mileage out of 2nd and 3rd, and that 3rd down kind of put us behind the line of scrimmage, even when we snapped the ball, and just didn't work out in our favor, and so we decided to punt in that situation.
I noticed you moved Tristan to right tackle, and then Matthew was back. How did you feel like your offensive line did against that strong front 7 of the Bobcats?
Well, Daniel Hardy's a great player, and on film he's shown that, and he's terrorized some right tackles in this league. So we put our best offensive lineman against him, and I think I don't know what Daniel's stats were, but he wasn't as much of a factor in this game from an individual standpoint than he'd been in the first 8. And so we made the decision with Matt coming back on board, moving Tristan to right, and that was a strategy, again, a coaching strategy to say we're going to put our best against their best, and if they move them over to the right end position over a left tackle, then so be it. But that was what we employed going into the week, knowing that Daniel plays mostly over our right tackle or the right tackle. But overall, I think those offensive linemen did a good enough job at times. I don't think we put our guys in position enough, consistently enough, to be able to eat up some of their pressures. And so as coaches, we've got to do a better job of getting bigs on bigs and still getting 3 and 4 out in the route.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, you had struggles on offense in the 2nd and 3rd quarter. Was it what they were doing? Was it your execution? Why did you guys, you had 30-some yards in the 3rd quarter alone. What happened in those 2 quarters?
Well, I don't know, Dennis, time of possession-wise, I don't know how many, possessions we truly got in the 2nd and 3rd. When you look at 3 of 13 on 3rd down, that's atrocious. 3 of 13 on 3rd down, even against a very highly respected defense. It wasn't like we were 3rd and 12 all day long. There was 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 5s. Normal 3rd down situations outside of one late in the game where we pinned them inside the 10 on a punt. It was a flow-driven deal. Talolo talked about situations where we kind of did ourselves no favors at times. Whether it's missed block, miscatch, misread. Eric's having to step up sooner than anticipated. It just seemed to be kind of one-off at the moment where we needed it to be a little bit more dialed in. But you look at a run game, 3.3 yards per rush, again against a good defense. Give them a ton of credit, but 33 for 100 yards, not good enough. that's not good enough. 21 of 31 from a percentage standpoint is good, pass efficiency wise, but we've got to be better than 214 yards through the air. We're too good at quarterback. We're too good at receiver, but to do that, you got to be able to have them respect the run game, and I don't think we did that enough consistently to be able to bring those safeties to the line of scrimmage. So their eyes were in different places than we wanted them to be in. Again, give credit to a great defense, a good game plan against a good team. It was a heavyweight bout, 4 versus 5, 23-20. Could have gone either way. We just didn't do ourselves any favors.
Was that more of an issue that they took away the run game rather than taking away anything from your passing attack?
A little bit, I mean, we're looking at it, we had 13-2, 9-2, with our second, leading rusher in terms of number, being Eric Berrier, toting it 9 times. We'll look at it, but I think consistency plays out. If you give too many guys too little carries, I think that can be there's no flow from that standpoint. Coach Pryor does a great job getting a feel for those guys. Some are personnel based in terms of trying to get guys in on certain situations, but we've got more than enough capable backs to be able to do everything we ask them to do. We just never really got in a flow. I mean, 12-yard long for Dennis Merritt, 25 for Micah Smith, 7 for Eric Berrier, and 11 for Tamarick Pierce, who was a nice addition to our running back stable this week. But when you look at it, 3.5, 13.0, 1.9, and 5.5. We've got to be better, and it starts up front. It starts with us coaches putting them in right positions, and then them believing in the coaching to execute what we ask them to do, and do it in tough moments. It's not all first down.
Aaron, you guys do a great job of separating week to week, but considering what's happened the last 2 games, is there more sense of urgency for this week, Saturday? Is it going to feel different this week for you?
Well, I think it's different. I'd be lying to you if it wasn't different. You're a 7-win team, and before you get to 8 wins, you got to get to 7. We've been on 7 for two weeks. It's a matter of 4 points. This game is cruel sometimes. I mean, 4 points, 2 losses. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if or how many you lost by. It's a matter of the fact that you lost. And so we got to find ways, especially good against really good defenses, to score more points. That's what we got to do. And I don't know if it's creativity. I don't know if it's lack of execution. We'll look at the film come tomorrow. You got to give those defenses credit because they take some things away. But if they take something away, something else then is open. So we've got to be able to throw the ball, protect to get the ball thrown, catch the ball when it's delivered, and move the sticks at that times. But urgency, yes. Panic, no. That'd be the best way to put it. We don't panic. I don't know what that word means, because when you're prepared, you don't panic. And so, yes, there's a heightened state of urgency, but not panic at this moment. And we'll look at it. We've got to find our 5th league victory. That's what we're after. And we've been searching for it for really 3 weeks, 2 bowl games, and we'll put our best foot forward next week at Davis against another very good outfit.
One question, just how much was the wind a factor in your decision making throughout the game?
I mean, it probably plays with special teams more than anything else. With our quarterback, I don't think the wind affects Eric much. Others it does. We'll always try to take the wind early in most cases to be able to kick the ball out if we lose a toss or if they're taking the ball first. We've had the fortunes of kicking off in the second half in a lot of games, so we'll always take the win, which is usually away from the scoreboard, and try to pin them to the 25 and not allow a return to happen. I think special teams today, there were some good things outside of that return that got called back early. I think the special teams played out. We flipped the field enough. We covered enough balls. We did enough things to be advantageous in those special teams units. But overall, again, just the staggering pieces, 20 first downs, 100 yards rushing, 20 points and 214 through the air. That's not standard. And so we got to find ways to exceed or at least meet the standard. And at this point, for 2 straight weeks, it just hasn't felt fluid enough in a lot of different areas.
How do you think this is going to affect your playoff picture?
That's at least our concerns right now. We don't mention the P word in terms of what happens if this, then this. I'm more worried about our first down. If this, then what do we call on second down, or what our intentions are in that regard. Playoffs are something we always are chasing, but you got to chase wins to get to the playoffs. And so we've got to find our 8th win first. We've got to come back. We've got to have another week of energized practice. We had a very, very high energy practice. theme of the week was play faster, and I think a lot of it, we played fast, but you can't play fast if you don't move the sticks. 3 and out is 3 and out, then you come off, you lose the flow. But it certainly hurts. Senior day at home, 2 losses in a row. I mean, those are facts. We're not going to dwell on those, but those things are facts. And so we got to look at those things and find ourselves a chance to go 1-0 this week on the road, which is, again, another tall task at Davis against a well coached and highly ranked outfit.